Alright my friends, a couple years ago I would go into Barnes & Noble and randomly select a book to read. I really enjoyed doing that, so you know what? I'm gonna do that again. It has been a few years since I did it, so I really want to get back into doing this because it was a good way to find new books to read. I know all stores are different, but my store separates the light novels from the manga, so I just select a random shelf. Of course, I'm gonna start with the first shelf of numbers and A's this time, and I'm just gonna go back and forth, counting in my head and stopping randomly. If I've read it before, I just put it back and try again. I could have done this better, but you know what? I am doing my best while holding the camera and also holding a sleeping baby, trying to not wake him up. Anyway, first shelf, back and forth, and randomly stopping with no surprise getting one of the biggest books there for 20th Century Boys. Now, obviously, there is no first volume, but there is a second volume at least. This one I have not read, no clue what it's about, but I think I have heard of the series at least. Since there is no first volume here at the store and there is no ebook version online, I decided to pick another one. I still will read this one, it just won't be right now. I'll have to order it or wait till it's at the store. This time while doing the pick, I decided to focus on the books past 20th Century Boys so as not to pick it again, and I selected Ado, I'm assuming it's Ado. This one I had not even heard of, not on my radar, no knowledge or expectation, so this was an interesting pick. The cover is certainly something, definitely piquing my interest, so I was actually looking forward to reading it. Having now read it, it was indeed an interesting read. Like I said, I did not have expectations going in, so I really didn't know what to expect. I took a quick glance at the summary, but I didn't fully process it. It looked like it talked about something of immigration issues, but in the first volume that was so briefly touched on, I imagined that it might play a role later in the volumes. Do I plan to continue this? Yeah, I actually really liked it. I'm curious to see what happens next. It left on a scene that I need answers to, so absolutely I'm going to read on. Just getting a tiny bit into spoilers here, this does seem like it has child experimentation, which is not a unique plot. There are many stories out there with this plot point happening, but I really like these characters and the buildup of the mystery that even though I had moments of, oh, this reminds me of this manga, I did not care. I still had fun and enjoyed this. Just a very quick run through of the story. We meet Riko, who is a young woman that runs into a young boy with no information about him, and he barely speaks. Turns out this boy has some plant-like ability and is being hunted down by those who work for the place that he escaped from. Since they have trouble, another person with abilities goes after him, resulting in Riko being shot. Now, I refuse to believe she's dead. There's no way she's dead, and if she is dead, I'm going to be really sad. I liked her. I imagine that they are going to somehow get away and more people with abilities will come after him. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know when I'll continue, but I definitely want to see what happens next. This was a good random pick. This is why I like doing these random picks. When I get a good story, it's totally worth it. I'll still do 20th Century Boys at some point, and I'll also do another random pick when I can.